The case was referred for a pre-sentence report investigation, victim impact statements, and drug and alcohol psychological evaluation. We are here today for purposes of sentencing. Defendant is present with his counsel, Mr. Tim Deeb.
Deeb.
Your Honor, this was a difficult situation for Robert. The demise of his marriage started to take place at the beginning of the year, and it was a downward spiral for him. And mentally, that's been very tough for him. They have 3 boys together, and that was his life for the most part. He did not handle the way things transpired. The police were called on numerous occasions because they were arguing, and they got to the point where the police needed to be called. And then it further went to the point where they had decided to separate and divorce. And given that situation, the 3 boys in his marriage, Robert did not handle that very well. He did start to go to counseling. I know there's a discrepancy of the facts, but he did tell the police generally what he had done, though he did not say it as specifically or
well, not
as harshly
really
as the witnesses did. But that is with most people. When they talk about their own wrongdoings, they take the edge off. But he did tell the police he went there, he did have the gun, he showed him where it was. And since then, he enrolled himself in counseling, though he still has a long road to go. His family is supporting him, and he has a place to stay with his mother. His employer is holding his job. And they've been doing that for a while. However, they're not entirely certain as to how long they'll be able to do that, but right now he does have a job for the near future at the same place where they're going. I believe he's making $44 per hour with the availability of overtime. We ask for community control, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Vian, what do you want to tell me before I impose sentence?
Your Honor.
You stand for counsel.
First, I want to apologize to my wife. I never intended to ever put my hands on her for essentially upsetting my family by not being the role model for my kids that I should have been. It has been a rough year for me. At the beginning of the year, I found out my wife was cheating on me. And then from there, after that, we had enrolled in marriage counseling to try to help get through it. Our marriage counselor had a few issues, so we kind of stopped going to those, but I was trying to do things to spend time with her after the kids went to bed to try to have a good marriage. I thought things were starting to go better. She acted like they were. She was telling me things like she missed me and she loved me and stuff like that. So I thought we were starting to get on a better page. And then at the end of June, I came home from work and she told me she wanted a divorce. And when she told me she wanted a divorce and I started digging, she's been talking to somebody else the whole time and I didn't know it. I thought she had stopped talking to him. And from there, I had a hard couple days and I started to get my head around it. And we had mutually talked and came up to an agreement that nobody at the house, nobody around the kids or anything like that, to try and be respectful to each other. And 2 days later is when she had her boyfriend at my house all day while I was at work and taunting me, saying that, basically telling me that I have it doesn't matter how I feel about it, she's going to do what she wants to. And when I went to the daycare to pick up the kids, I found out that she had him there too, which violated 2 things that we had just agreed on a couple days earlier. So on top of finding out that I'm getting divorced and my family's falling apart, and the last little bit of trust I had in her, she ripped that out too, and I overreacted. However, it was all under emotions and just feeling betrayed by somebody that I've loved for 7 years. Fell head over heels in love with, and honestly the first person I was truly in love with. I just want to get back to work and help my kids grow up. I continue with counseling, get through this divorce and try to provide for my kids. But I know I messed up that day. I overreacted.
Well, why don't you tell me what you did?
So on that day, I was at work and I found out that she had him at the house. We got into an argument on the phone and I went to the daycare to pick up the kids. I had called them because she does have a history of alcohol abuse, which she's done some work on. And I didn't know if this was out of her being drunk or whatever. I called the daycare and asked them not to let her take them because she was acting irrational that day. And then they called her.
What did she do that you concluded she was acting irrational that day?
Because before all this, 2 days prior, we just agreed, and she agreed that we wouldn't have anybody at the house, and
Okay.
she was basically making a mockery out of me on the phone.
You perceive what was going on that day as her mocking you.
Her mocking
So who
me,
was being irrational here?
and she,
Just ask you a question.
I guess I was.
Well, you told me that she was being irrational,
Well-
and the irrationality was somebody was over your house that you didn't want to be there.
Correct, and we.
Okay, so go ahead from there.
And so from there, I proceeded to go to the daycare, not expecting her to be there. When I got there,
Well, if
she
you
had been
weren't,
there.
why did you call the daycare to tell them not to let her pick the kids up if you didn't expect?
I was trying to get there.
If you
Sorry.
didn't expect her to be there, why would you call them then?
I was trying to get there before her, and I didn't know what kind of state she was in,
Okay,
because she had him with her,
okay,
and I didn't want my kids around him.
okay. All right, go ahead.
And so when I pulled in, I parked behind her vehicle to make sure that she couldn't leave, and I did not know he was there at that point.
Well,
And,
your fear was that she was going to show up with him.
well, my fear was that she was going to take the kids. She had him with her at one point, so I didn't know that he was still with her.
You
I wanted to
fully-
take the
you-
kids.
Hold on. You're telling me things that don't make sense, okay? You didn't want her to pick up the kids, but you didn't expect her to be there. You saw him with her that day, but you didn't expect him to be with her. So you blocked the car in. Why?
I blocked the car in so that I could take the boys with me,
Okay.
because I didn't know what was going on with her.
So that car was parked head in, blocked, and you came in behind it and parked?
Yes, and then he exited the vehicle before I could get out of the truck and started threatening me.
Threatening you how?
Started balling up his fist and like shrugging and started moving towards me like he wanted to get into a fight.
While you were still in your car?
As I was opening the door to get out,
Okay. And how close did he get to you?
probably within 10 feet.
Okay, and then what happened?
And that's when I had reached into the truck and grabbed my gun.
Okay. And then what?
And I pointed it at him to try to get him to move back.
And what did he do?
He essentially did move back and turned away from me, which is when I put the gun back in the truck, locked it, and proceeded inside to go get
Okay,
try to get my kids.
So I'm looking at Kayla Workman's statement. She noted that Jesse did not touch or approach Robert during the argument. She did not know who either man was until she was told after the fact.